This video contains a truth that has changed the lives of many people. If you are having health problems and have ever felt stuck, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section so we can share useful knowledge together. Have you ever had one of those mornings where you go to tie your shoes and suddenly out you feel that deep, nagging ache in your lower back? Maybe it's not sharp, maybe it's not even unbearable, but it lingers like an unwanted guest. If you're over 60, chances are you've felt it. That dull ache when you stand too long, that stiffness when you get out of bed, that silent little voice that says, "This is just part of getting older." Well, I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be. You're not broken. You're not fragile. And no, back pain is not a sentence you have to accept just because of your age. I've spent over 3 decades in healthcare, sitting beside folks just like you, strong, vibrant people who just want to enjoy life without feeling like their body is holding them hostage. And the truth is, there is a way forward. Today, we're going to talk about back pain not in a scary, medical way, but in a real, hopeful, down-to-earth way. This video is your guide to mastering back pain, not just coping with it. You're going to learn how to get back in charge of your body, to move better, feel stronger, and regain confidence in the simple joys of daily life. So whether you're someone who's struggling to garden again, or just want to walk your dog without that persistent ache, you're in the right place. Now, before we dive in, I want to hear from you. If you're living with chronic back pain, if you've had surgery, if you're managing arthritis, sciatica, or spinal stenosis, or even if you're just starting to notice stiffness, drop a comment below. Tell me what's been bothering you. This channel is a safe place where your story matters, and I promise, I read every single comment because your experience helps me help you better. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with one of the biggest hidden reasons your back pain might be getting worse as you age. Too much sitting. Now I know what you're thinking, "Doc, I'm retired. I'm not running around like I used to. Of course I sit more." And you're right. Retirement often means more time spent relaxing, watching TV, reading, maybe doing some light hobbies. But here's the catch. The more you sit, the more your spine stiffens, the weaker your core becomes, and the tighter your hips get. That cocktail is the perfect recipe for chronic back pain. I've seen it 100 times. Someone retires, their activity level drops, and within a year or two, they're in my office saying their back feels locked up or just not right. But the good news, this is one of the easiest things to change. Start simple. Set a timer every 30 to 45 minutes during the day. When it goes off, stand up, stretch, walk to the kitchen, do a few shoulder rolls. Just 2 to 3 minutes of movement every hour can make a huge difference. You don't need a gym, you don't need fancy equipment, and you don't need to break a sweat. Your body just needs reminders to move. If you're someone who likes structure, consider walking laps inside your house during TV commercials, or pacing while you talk on the phone. Movement doesn't have to be intense, it just has to be consistent. Because when you stay in motion, your joints stay lubricated, your spine stays active, and your pain has less room to settle in. Now, let's talk about something else you might not expect: the mattress you're sleeping on. Sleep should be your body's reset button. But if you're waking up with more pain than you went to bed with, your mattress might be working against you. I've seen people suffer for years with back pain only to discover their bed was the real culprit. Here's what I tell my patients: if your mattress is older than your dog, it's probably time to replace it, especially if you notice sagging, lumps, or if it's too soft and your body sinks into it like a hammock. Your spine needs support, not a cradle. Look for a medium firm mattress that keeps your back aligned and doesn't let your hips sink down too far. Now I get it, mattresses can be expensive, and it's not always practical to buy a brand new one. So here's a trick: try a firm mattress topper. They're more affordable and can give your current bed a whole new feel. You'll be surprised how something so simple can ease pressure on your spine and let your muscles actually relax at night. And while we're on the topic of rest, let me gently remind you that how you sleep matters too. If you're a stomach sleeper, that's rough on the back. It arches the lower spine and puts pressure where you don't want it. Try sleeping on your side with a pillow between your knees, or on your back with a small pillow under your knees. These positions keep your spine more neutral and reduce strain overnight. Alright, here's another one I see all the time, and it might surprise you. Lack of hydration. Yep, just plain old water. It plays a bigger role in back health than most people realize. Your spinal discs, the cushions between your vertebrae, are made mostly of water. When you're dehydrated, even just a little, those discs shrink and lose their bounce. That means less cushioning, more friction, and more pain. Especially as we age, the natural moisture in our tissues decreases. So we have to be extra intentional. If your urine is dark yellow or if you go hours without feeling thirsty, you're probably not drinking enough. A good goal is 6 to 8 cups of water a day, depending on your health and activity level. Keep a glass of water near you throughout the day. If plain water is tough, try adding a splash of lemon or a slice of cucumber. Hydration helps your whole body, but your spine feels the benefits more than you think. These might sound like small things: getting up more often, checking your mattress, drinking water, but trust me, these are the foundation of back pain relief. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to start somewhere. Because pain thrives in stillness, in dehydration, and in misalignment. But healing happens with small, steady changes, with listening to your body, with showing up for yourself, one good habit at a time. Let's keep going, because there's more you can do, more tools, more strategies, and more power in your hands than you've probably been told. Let's keep going, because the truth is, once you've started to gently move and stretch those stiff muscles, you open the door to a new phase of healing. But movement alone won't do it all, especially if your spine is still crying out for support. Every time you sit down, stand up, or lie down to rest. Now think about this for a second. How many hours a day do you spend sitting? On the couch, at the dining table, in the car, or even watching TV in bed? That time adds up, and for your back, the wrong kind of sitting can feel like hours of slow punishment. If your chair doesn't support your lower back or your mattress sags in the middle like a hammock, your spine isn't just uncomfortable, it's fighting to stay aligned. And that fight gets harder with age. So here's the next game changer. Fix your posture and upgrade your back support system. You don't have to go out and buy a $1,000 ergonomic chair. Start small. Roll up a towel and place it behind your lower back when you sit. Pay attention to how you slouch. Most of us don't even realize we're doing it until our neck or back screams at us. Every hour, check in with your posture. Sit upright, keep your feet flat, and let your shoulders fall back naturally, not forced. And when it comes to your bed, oh, don't get me started. So many of my older patients tell me they wake up in more pain than they went to sleep with. If your mattress is over 10 years old, it might be part of the problem. Even just adding a firm mattress topper or switching your pillow to better align your neck and spine can bring surprising relief. Little changes add up. Trust me, your back knows the difference between support and sabotage. But posture doesn't just mean how you sit or sleep, it's also how you move. That leads us to another big shift, one that isn't always easy, but makes all the difference: strengthening your core and back muscles gently, consistently, and with care. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Strength training? At my age. But I'm not talking about deadlifts or crunches at the gym. I'm talking about simple, steady exercises that help your body carry itself better. Think standing leg lifts at the kitchen counter, holding a wall plank for a few seconds longer each day, or practicing a modified bridge pose on your living room carpet. Your core is more than just your abs. It's the whole support system that wraps around your spine, the front, the sides, and deep within your torso. And when that system gets stronger, your spine doesn't have to carry all the weight on its own. That means less pressure, less pain, and better balance, which, by the way, is one of the best ways to avoid falls, another major risk as we age. I remember a patient, Mary, 72 years old, always active until back pain put her on the sidelines. We started her with just 2 simple exercises she could do while watching TV: seated marches and gentle pelvic tilts. She stuck with it, and after a few weeks, not only did her pain ease, but she started standing taller. She even told me she felt younger, like she was reclaiming part of herself she thought was gone forever. That's the power of motion backed by strength. And while we're talking about reclaiming control, there's another piece of the puzzle many people overlook: managing inflammation and pain naturally through smart choices in what you eat and drink every single day. Food is medicine, especially for your joints and spine. Chronic inflammation is a sneaky culprit behind back pain. It builds slowly, fueled by processed foods, too much sugar, and those sneaky hidden ingredients in boxed and canned meals. But you can fight it every time you sit down to eat. Start adding more anti-inflammatory foods to your plate. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, colorful berries, fatty fish like salmon, and turmeric, which you can stir into tea or sprinkle on roasted veggies. Stay hydrated. Water keeps your spinal discs plump and supported. If you're dehydrated, those discs can dry out and compress, and that compression, that's pain waiting to happen. Cutting back on inflammatory foods doesn't mean you have to eat like a rabbit. It just means getting intentional. Maybe swap that second cup of coffee for herbal tea. Try oatmeal with cinnamon and walnuts instead of sugary cereal. Choose olive oil instead of butter. These tiny swaps can make a world of difference in how your back feels. And remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being better. One meal, one moment at a time. Your body is always listening, whether it's to the way you sit, the way you move, or what you feed it. And when you start treating it like a partner instead of a problem, that's when the healing begins. Not just physically, but emotionally too. Because chronic back pain isn't just about discomfort. It can steal your joy, your independence, your sleep. It makes you hesitate to take that walk, to plan that trip, to get down on the floor and play with your grandkids. But you don't have to let it win. You've already started to take your power back just by showing up and listening. That tells me you're ready. Not for a miracle fix, but for real, lasting relief that starts from the inside out. Let's keep going. There's still more to explore. Because the more tools you have in your toolbox, the better equipped you'll be to take your life back, pain-free, confident, and strong. So now that we've talked about movement, posture, strength, and nutrition, you might be wondering, what else is there? What more could possibly be holding you back from the relief you deserve? Well, let's talk about the part of healing no one sees, the mental and emotional toll of chronic back pain. Pain isn't just physical. It creeps into your mind. It wears down your patience. It makes you anxious about the simplest things, like bending to pick something up or going for a walk around the block. And over time, it chips away at your confidence. You start to ask yourself, is this just how life is going to be now? Let me be clear. That voice is lying to you. You are not your pain. You are not your limitations. And you are not powerless. But here's the thing. To truly move forward, you have to acknowledge the emotional weight you've been carrying. The fear, the frustration, even the grief over the mobility you feel you've lost. These emotions are real, and they deserve compassion, not judgment. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel discouraged. But don't let those feelings set up camp. Let them pass through you, and then replace them with something stronger: hope, purpose, and a clear plan. And here's where that plan gets even stronger: consistency over intensity. You don't need to work out for an hour every day. You don't need to follow a perfect routine or overhaul your life in a single weekend. You just need to keep showing up day after day in small, steady ways. A 5-minute walk in the morning, a few gentle stretches before bed, swapping one sugary snack for something nourishing, writing down your pain levels and what helped. These small choices add up, and more importantly, they build momentum. Imagine your progress like planting a garden. At first, it looks like nothing's happening. But keep watering, keep nurturing, and one day, you wake up, and the pain that once controlled your life has faded to a whisper, maybe even gone completely. Now, sometimes, even with the best habits, progress can stall. That's why it's essential to know when to reach out. And that brings us to another cornerstone of healing: professional support. I can't tell you how many seniors suffer in silence because they're either afraid to ask for help or they've been brushed off before. But times are changing. There's more awareness now, better options, and professionals who actually listen. So here's what I recommend. See a physical therapist who specializes in senior care. They can guide you through gentle routines tailored to your body and your needs. Work with a chiropractor or osteopath if your spine feels misaligned or stiff, but only under your doctor's supervision. Try acupuncture or massage therapy, which many seniors find soothing and effective for reducing inflammation and improving blood flow. Ask your doctor about supplements that support bone health, disc hydration, and joint strength like magnesium, vitamin D, glucosamine, or omega-3 south. And if you're dealing with emotional fatigue or even depression related to chronic pain, talk to a counselor. There's no shame in needing someone to help you through the mental side of healing. In fact, it may be one of the most courageous things you do, because healing isn't linear. Some days are better than others, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you've failed, it means you're human. But here's the truth. The more support you have, the less heavy that burden feels. You're not supposed to do this alone. And guess what? You don't have to. And now, as we bring all of this together, there's one more piece I want to leave you with. Something so simple, yet so powerful it might just change everything. Set a goal that excites you. Not a number on a scale, not a pain score, but something real, something personal. Maybe it's taking that trip you've been putting off, walking to the farmer's market every Saturday, dancing again, sitting on the floor to play with your grandkids, and getting back up without help. Whatever it is, write it down. Picture it. Feel it in your bones. Because when you have something worth working toward, something that makes your heart beat faster, the work becomes worth it. The small daily habits suddenly have meaning. And your back pain? It starts to shrink in the face of your bigger purpose. So here's your invitation. Don't just manage your pain. Don't just survive it. Outgrow it. Let your healing become a journey, one that transforms you from the inside out. You've already come this far. You've learned so much. But before we wrap up, there's still one last section to explore, one that brings everything together and reminds you why you're back, your body, and your life are worth fighting for. Stick with me, because part 4 is where it all connects, and you won't want to miss it. So here you are. You've made it through the stretches, the habits, the mindset shifts, the setbacks, and the breakthroughs. And you might be sitting there thinking, all right, I've learned a lot, but where do I really go from here? The answer is simple. You keep going. Not perfectly, not with pressure, but with purpose. And maybe that's the one thing we forget when we're dealing with chronic back pain. Your life still has purpose, even when you're hurting, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like yourself anymore. You still matter. Your comfort matters. And your future, yes, even now, can still be full of joy, movement, connection, and adventure. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you woke up and didn't think about your back first? When's the last time you moved without fear, or got through a day without constantly bracing for discomfort? That future isn't some fantasy. It's possible, not by ignoring the pain, but by facing it, understanding it, and slowly, step by step, rising above it. Let's talk about that long game. Because managing back pain isn't a 30-day challenge or a one-size-fits-all fix. It's a lifelong relationship with your body. And like any relationship, it takes patience, communication, and care. One of the best things you can do for yourself is create daily rituals that serve your spine. A morning routine that wakes up your joints gently. Maybe 5 minutes of light stretching or a warm shower to loosen your muscles. An afternoon check-in where you stand, move, hydrate, and breathe deeply, just to reset your posture and circulation. And a wind-down process in the evening where you turn off screens. Relax your back with a heating pad or guided meditation, and let your body know we're safe. We're resting now. None of this has to be complicated. What matters most is consistency. The more you build rhythm into your day, the more stable your back and your entire nervous system becomes. And here's something else to remember. Your environment matters more than you think. A supportive mattress, ergonomic chairs, a cane or walker if needed. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of wisdom. Tools that help you move better, feel better, and live better. Don't wait until things get worse to make changes that support your health. Do it now, because you're worth it. Now, let's talk about people. Because while this journey is deeply personal, you were never meant to do it alone. Whether it's a physical therapist, a trusted doctor, a support group, or even someone in the YouTube comments saying, "Hey, I know how you feel." Connection is medicine too. So many people suffer in silence, believing no one understands. But I promise you they do. I've seen it firsthand. I've treated thousands of patients over the decades. And one truth remains constant. Healing happens faster when we feel supported. So if you haven't already, share in the comments below. Tell us what you're going through, what's worked for you, or even what hasn't. You never know who you might inspire, or who might lift you up right when you need it most. And now, before we end, I want you to do something. Not for me, for yourself. Close your eyes for just a moment. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Your back feels freer. You're moving more. You're doing things you thought were behind you, not because a miracle happened, but because you stayed the course. You honored your body. You listened. You showed up for yourself. Now open your eyes and believe it's possible. Because it is. Your back pain doesn't define your story. It's just one chapter. And from here on out, you get to choose how the rest unfolds. So here's my message to you. From one human being to another, don't give up. Even if the progress is slow, even if the pain still lingers, healing doesn't happen in a straight line, but every step forward counts. And if no one's told you this lately, I'm proud of you. For learning, for listening, for trying something new. You didn't have to watch this video, but you did. That tells me you're ready for change. You're ready for relief. If this video helped you in any way, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Not just for more information, but to stay connected to a growing community that's rooting for you every step of the way. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Your story matters here, and I personally read through every one. If there's something you're struggling with, mobility, pain levels, medical history, share it. You never know who else is walking the same path. So here's to you, to strength, to small victories, and to waking up each morning with a little more ease than the one before. Here's to living your best life, at any age.